Okay, good evening. Today we're doing Shaar Yichud Vemunah Perek Dalet. The Alter Rebbe answers today the questions he asked yesterday. If Hashem, not if, it is that Hashem giving us our life, our energy every moment, yeah, and He's here, not like the Moshe we brought with the sun, that the sun is far away, and the light of the sun is over here. Hashem Himself is here, and He is giving us a chayes. How come we're not bottled to Him? How come we're not nullified to Him? So we should not be even a creation. We should completely nullify to Him, because that's what happened today when the sun is going back to where it came from, and that's going back. Right now, when we have a light of the sun, there is a sun that's coming from there. It's coming from its origin, and any part of the sun that's there, any light, it doesn't call any more light. It's become part of the sun. So we should be all become part of godliness of it. We should not be called bruim. We should not be yesh, a separate entity. That's what the question Alter Rebbe left yesterday. So Perek Dalet starts with the answer. The pasuk compares the Shem Havai and Shem Elokim to Shemesh Mogen. Shemesh, the sun, Mogen is the case of the sun. Pirush Mogen and Nartik Shemesh. There's a case of the sun. Lahagen Sheyuchla Brius LeSovloi. Hashem created the sun. There's a case over the sun, because if the sun would shine without that case, we wouldn't be able to tolerate it. Hashem will take the sun out of its case. He'll take it out, and there'll be a big sun. So some people will enjoy that, tzaddikim will enjoy, will be able to tolerate that sun, and the Rishonim will be nidoinen bo. That will judge them, meaning the heat of the sun. That's the pashtus. Without getting over there to that pshat of Chazal with the whole analogy of the sun, but what he brings us over here now to tell the same thing, like the sun has a case, Shem Havaya has a case too. Let's see now inside. Same thing that the case of the sun. It protects the sun. It should not shine the way it is, full strength. Yeah. Kach Shem Elokim, same thing, Shem Elokim, Mogin l'Shem Havaya. Shem Elokim, there's many Shemis to Hashem. The function of Shem Elokim, it's to cover up on Shem Havaya. It shouldn't be fully revealed. There is a case over the light, the energy coming, the life coming from Shem Havaya, and the Shem Elokim is Mogen Onartik. It covers up on it. Kach Shem Elokim, Mogen Shem Havaya Baruch Hu. The Shem Havaya, what the Pirush of Shem Havaya? Pirush of Shem Havaya Esakol. Shem Havaya, meaning in Hebrew, we don't pronounce it. We don't pronounce Shem Havaya by the Oisius, but what the meaning of Shem Havaya, that's Shem Havaya Esakol. That the name represented, he is creating everything. Mahava, he's creating everything. Me'ayin liyesh. Everything is getting something from nothing. V'hayud. So according to this, if it's meaning Mahava, it could say the Shem Hoiva, Meloshan Mahava, but it says Yud over there, Yud Kevovke. Yud Meshameshes ala Pa'ula. Yud over there coming to tell you Shubuloshan Hoiva v'tomid. And to tell you that the Shem Havai with the Yud Kevovke, the meaning of that name, that not only one time Hashem created the world, He's Mahava all the time. Al Shem Yud Shubuloshan Hoiva v'tomid. Ke the Pirush Rashi al Posuk. Rashi says, Kacha Yasa Iyov. Yeah, what's called Yasa Iyov? When we read the history of Iyov, it's you said Lashon Yasa. That's what he will do. Yasa means will. What do you mean he will? He did already. He's not here Iyov now. So it should say Kacha also Iyov. Why it says Yasa with a Yud? Kacha is Kalayom V'ainu, meaning that means Yasa, meaning it was that's while he was alive. That was his way of doing things. Constantly he would do this. Something over here, Shem Yudke Vavke. It's meaning Meloshan Mehave. He's constantly Mehave the oilamus at all the time. That's why there's a Yud in Yudke Vavke. V'hainu, he explains, Achayis Anishpa B'chol Rega Mamash. B'chol Abruyim, the life and the energy flows every moment in the whole creation. From the words of Hashem and His Spirit. And I mean, in more detail, Moitza Pi Havaya, we said already, it compares to our oisios that will come from the mouth. That how you put together a sentence of words. There is we have 5 different things coming from the mouth. We said already, Bumapneas Fasaim, oisios, base, Vov, Mem, Pei coming from the lips, Gichak Meachech, Acham Agoran, the different parts of the mouth making different sounds. That's called Moitza Pi Havai. There is also 5 levels of five type of letters that's over there. Obviously, there's no body to Hashem. We already spoke about, but I mean 5 different levels of oisios, of letters that with them Hashem created the word veruchoi. It's like there's something by the person when you talk, you have air coming out of your lungs, air coming out together. You have a sound. Otherwise, you wouldn't hear a sound. It would not be air coming. That's what he says. Same thing. The whole creation. It's also compared to this idea. The life and energy that flows constantly in the whole creation. This is the level of oisios, the ruchoi, and from the union of rucha shel havai. That's the air. That's together. For the, also, you could say the moitza pi havai, it represents malchus, ruchoi, it represents the midos. But without getting to this, the idea is Hashem is ma'ava all the oil of the whole rega v'rega me'ayin leyesh the whole rega every moment. That wouldn't be enough if Hashem would create the world and would leave it go on its own. And he already explained this before. Why Hashem couldn't create the world? Let it go on its own already. He created a good vehicle. Now the vehicle running on its own has a lot of mileage on it. But he created such a good vehicle that could run millions of miles. Because we already said that in the previous shiur. But when a craftsman creates something, he doesn't create. He's just reshaping things. The thing that in existence, the material is there, he's reshaping it. So hey, they could go away, and that vehicle could go on for a while. Masha'enk and HaKadosh Baruch Hu create the world. Something from nothing, there's no material, there's no basis for it. So what holding the world? What made the world that came from Yesh Mayim to go? It goes on. At Moitza Pi Havai, it's words. So if he's going to take away the words for one moment from there, the world will go to Ein V'Efes. That's why it says over here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mahave Kol Ha'olam is B'chol Rega V'Rega. Every moment he's creating the world. Now, in the Besidur Shvach Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ksiv, God, he still didn't answer his question yet. How come if the energy of Hashem flows over here, and Hashem himself is here, not like by the sun, that the sun is away from here, just the light of the sun comes over here, how come we're not bottled to him if he's here and he's giving us a chayz? Now he explained, when we praise Hashem, we praise Hashem as a godel, big, a gibor, and strong. Upirush hagodel, umidas chesed. The midas chesed is called midas gdula. Vaispashtus achayus b'chol olam esubruim le'en ketz. That's his gedula, that he with his kindness, he created the world. I mentioned this in the previous shiurim. Friedgre brings a mimer and a mimer from the Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi says the why we call l'chavaya gdula is a ma'aser bereshis. The Gemara says l'chavaya gdula is a ma'aser bereshis. The creation is called gedula. He says like this, the Yerushalmi. If you take the whole entire world, all the people, all the scholars, all the chachamim of the world, and you bring them just the wing of the fly and tell them, bring a fly, tell them a dead fly, then put an asham over there. Make that fly, give them an energy, let them fly. They couldn't do it with all the wisdom they have. They cannot create the fly. They can't even not only create the fly, even there's an existing fly that's dead. Just put an asham over there. They couldn't do it. So that's the Gdulas HaShalak. Not only he created the whole world, he keeping it alive. He's the neshama of the world. That's it. Agodol midas chesed. That's the chesed of Hashem. His pashtus hachayus b'chol olam. There's an energy, life flows through all the world, and that's what's giving them chayus. B'chol olam is ubruim le'en ketz v'tachlis. There's so many creations over here, so many details over here, and everything lives with the energy of life of Hashem. They constantly becoming bruim, nivroim. They're being created, recreated. every moment. Me'ayin leyesh, from nothing to something. V'kayomim b'chesed chinam. They didn't earn that. It's chesed chinam. As the Gemara brings, that we have 26 kilo elam chazdoi. It's called halal agodol. The Gemara says, why it's 26 kilo elam chazdoi? We say it every Shabbos. By davening, the Gemara says that 26 generations from Matan Torah, from the creation of the world till Matan Torah, the whole entire world, including people that were living b'chesed shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We didn't earn it. We didn't do anything. Normally, when you earn money, you work for it. You earn the money. You do something, you earn something. The life we have, the chesed Hashem gave us, all this life that we have, we didn't earn it. So it's chesed shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. By Matan Torah already, the Jews start earning it for the world. They're learning Torah, they're doing mitzvahs. Okay, now you went into work a little bit. You're earning it. But it's all chesed of Hashem, and then the whole entire creation, they didn't earn that. So it's all living by His chesed. He's giving them a bonus every moment, a new life. Otherwise, they wouldn't be it. He's big, and we cannot investigate His greatness. Again, we don't comprehend how big is the Bria and how the whole thing is doing yesh me'ayin b'chol rega v'rega. V'lochen mashpia gam kan chayis v'yisabos me'ayin le'esh lo'elamos ubruim and ketz. Because it's great, because it's a big Baal Chesed, and he's constantly supporting and giving life to this whole big creation. Sheteva atoiv le'heitiv. That's the nature of somebody who's a Baal Chesed. He likes to do Chesed. Hashem is Teva atoiv. He's atoiv and memela tivoy lahativ. That's his nature of the Chesed, to give that the Chesed does to the world. He creates them and he gives them life. I mean, just think about a small thing. Electricity. Everybody paying for electricity. It's not the electricity is not free. We're paying for it. So can you imagine how much electricity Hashem gives every day to the whole entire world? The sun, how much power of electricity He giving? We don't get the end of the month the bill. Go send money for the sun to God. He gave you so much sun this month. So this is just one little detail about the whole entire life. You're seeing, you're hearing, you're breathing, you're eating. The whole entire life, like the Los and chaper, it's so much chesed, you're constantly giving and giving. Same thing like this midah of the chesed of Hashem. It's exclusively His shevach. No one could get such he's a Baal chesed. Nobody does Baal chesed more than Hashem. Look, he gives life and energy to the whole entire world. Exclusively His. Why? Nobody able to put a creation of yesh me'ayin but Him and constantly revive it and sustain it. Yeah, and sustain it. It's also above our comprehension. Yeah, something we can understand a little bit, we believe, we understand, but we cannot comprehend the magnitude and how He does such a thing to leave a yesh me'ayin. We don't have that capability. How could that be? You created first. We don't understand how could you get something from nothing, because we judge everything the way we see things. We know if you give to a craftsman, a carpenter, to make a table, you have to provide them with wood, or if they buy the wood somewhere. To create a table from nothing, we cannot comprehend such thing. All of a sudden, from nothing became a table. It's a magic. So we cannot comprehend how could you do yesh me'ayin the whole entire bria, and then and constantly give energy to it. Such a creation, yesh me'ayin, it's above our seichel, above our comprehension. Because it's like a midah of Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu midos of achdus poshut. HaKadosh Baruch Hu in His midas, the midas chesed, Vemunah, tiferes, it's achdus poshut, meaning it's a simple unity. It's completely connected to Him. It's part of Him. Him and His garmoy, it's the kalim, which is every midah has its own kli. There's a kli for midas chesed, there's a kli for midas gvura, and him and his kelim and his midas, it's one. They're completely connected to him. Something we cannot comprehend. The Creator, we have no hasaga, because how somebody, even the smartest man on earth, is a bal gvul. He is limited. How could he understand unlimited? We have no hasaga in that. Not only we cannot comprehend him, we can't even comprehend his midas. What we can understand in this midah, the midah, that ability, libro yesh me'ain ulach. How could it create something yesh me'ain? Then when you create it, how could you constantly keep it going, constantly giving life to it? Because we know we get tired. We do something so many times. After a while, we get tired. We cannot comprehend how could HaKadosh Baruch Hu does it. There's no tiredness over there. He constantly keeping up the bria the way he created originally. So we don't understand his creation. Now he's saying same thing. Not only we cannot comprehend his creation is chesed, and the person cannot lasting midas gvurosai. We also don't understand the midas agvura about tzimtzum. Not only the chesed and the gvura also. He explains why. Why can we understand gvura? She midas the gvura is midas tzimtzum. Umnias is pashtus. What's gvura? Gvura telling you don't give the flow, don't give the energy, the life unlimited. Stop it somewhere. Give less. Contract it. Conceal it. Why can't we understand this? He says we cannot understand midas tzimtzum. Umnias is pashtus. Achayus migdulos miliared velis galas ala nivroim lach yosem ulakam begilui. We cannot understand how he brings down his chayus through tzimtzum, through gevura, and that's what the gevura does. It should not be revealed his life. Kim behester upon him, but it should be completely concealed. Shachayus mistater beguvan nivra. The chayus of Hashem is completely concealed in the body of the creation, whether in our body. We see a body, we see a life, but we don't see a lakus. A lot of people could argue with you. It's a teva. Same thing. You see a plant growing. There is a body, the plant, and there is a chayus. There is a neshama over there. It's growing. But again, many people don't see the godliness. When you see on a tree, when you look at the tree, when you look at the plant, you don't see godliness over there. Because why? It's concealed over there. Something when you look at an animal, a live animal running around, you should see godliness. What makes him to run around? The energy of Hashem. But we don't see it because it's mistater begufan nivra. That godliness, it's hiding over there. It's concealed over there. It looks to us, appears to us. That's what it is. It's going on its own. It's like, imagine today everybody knows if you see a car driving, you know there's an engine transmission over there. Obviously, otherwise you know it's not going to drive. But people think of the creation not like this. And the car, they understand that if you see a driving car, you know there must be a lot of internal parts of that car, otherwise it will not drive, will not operate. But the creation, people think it runs on its own. Like they don't see the godliness of it there. Why? Because God does a very good job in hiding. That's what people think. When you see the light of the sun, you know there is a sun out there, and the light coming from the sun. You see that you could trace the sun to its origin. Mashenken, when you look at the Bria, you don't trace it back like you would trace the light of the sun. You think it looks like it's on its own. It just made itself. It's on its own. It doesn't. The whole creation. It's not something on its own, without any origin, without any source. It's exactly like you see the light of the sun. You know there's a sun. If you see a creation of you see plants growing, you see animals running, you see people alive. You must. You also we should know there is a source for all this energy, for all this life, but we don't see it this way. This is exactly the midas when his midas agvura kicks in to hide himself very well, and to conceal himself, that we don't see Elokus, we just see Gashmius, like it's something on its own. Asher kol yochel, he could do anything, and part of what he could do anything, that's to conceal himself. To contract, to conceal the energy that comes from him, and to hide that it would be too much revelation that you see godliness, the world would be nullified to him. Wouldn't be the way we see world now, like we see it now, would be a complete bitul, complete nullification to God. But so Mameli conceals himself. It should become like it should become something on its own. Look like it's on its own. וזה אין בשכל שום נברא להשיג מהוס הצמצום וההסתר. We don't understand the essence exactly the way he does his contraction and his concealment. ושיהיה אף על פי כן גוף הנברא מאין ליש. There's two things going on over here. If you see something is alive, yeah, like I said, you see a car, anybody knows anything, there must be over there some internal parts running that car, engine, transmission, so on and so forth, right? So if you see a world that's a chai, see things alive over here, so the chaper, you should see godliness. Elamai, you're going to say, Hashem is so much contracted his life, so much brought a minute life over here, and he conceals it so well till you don't see godliness at all. Okay, if it's so minute the life, how come it's running then? That it should be dead. So he giving enough life, it should run, but it's not good enough to see him. That's we can understand how he does that. We can understand. And I mentioned this before from the middle of the Rebbe by the Pare, when he saw those cows, the bad cows ate the good cows, and says, then after they ate the good cows, you didn't see them like he ate them. How could he be such a big cow and not feel no change? So he says that the bad cows represent the klippas. The klippas eat the good cows that represent the koyach HaKadusha that gives life to the world. The klippas are so covering up, so concealing the chayes of Hashem that look, it appears that they never ate them. They ate them. They live of this. The chayes Elokim, without her, they wouldn't be alive. But it's such a concealment over there. It looks like it never can be. Never. Same thing the world, but we don't understand. If you're hiding so much, it's like there is such a thing today, a light that you could dim it, dimmer. Yeah. If you dim it so much, it's a complete darkness. Meaning there's no chayus. There should be no light. Elamai, you see a light, meaning there is some light over here. Otherwise, there won't be no light. If there is a light, how come I don't see the light? There is a light, there's an engine, I don't see it. It's so little that I don't see it. If I don't see it, it's so little. How come it gives energy? That's what we don't understand the midas gedula. That's what we cannot comprehend his gedula that's giving life, and we cannot comprehend his gebura either. We don't comprehend any of his midas. We don't comprehend his ways at all. Afal began gufa nivra me'ayin leyesh, despite this big symptom. We cannot understand the bria. We cannot understand the symptom. Akaponim. So we're going to go more to the end of the perek tomorrow. But right now, that's already giving a shtickle answer to his question. So how come that the world is not bottled to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? The mashal was the sun and the light. We said already, by the sun and the light, the reason the light over here is its own name, it's functioning over here as a separate entity, as the light of the sun, of the offshoot of the sun, because he's away from its origin. He's millions miles away from his origin. Mele could be called with his own name, the light of the sun. So if he goes back over there, it's not called anything. It's completely nullified to the body of the sun. So over here, the sun is compared to Hashem. He's giving us chayus. He's giving us that light, that energy. Okay, But Hashem is here, though. If Hashem is here, he's not moved away from us. He's here. He's less asar ponim, and there's nothing empty out of him. So that's why we're not bottled to him. Same thing like the sun, when it's by the sun, of the light of the sun, and by the body of Kadur Hashemesh, he's nothing. He's completely part of the Guf Kadur Hashem. So we're part of Elokus, so we're completely bottled to Hashem. That was the question. How come we are like Yesh, Bria, Yesh Me'ain, we're Yesh Nivra? It looks like going on its own. So the answer is, that's what the answer of the Bria. The Bria, we don't understand. God, how could he do such a great creation? Yesh Me'ain, we don't understand. We don't comprehend it. Also, we don't comprehend his symptom. That the reason we are feeling ourselves, the creation feels itself like it's something on its own, because Hashem conceals himself, because he would not conceal it, we would see the way he's here, because it's bottled to him. He conceals so well that Tilda could feel, I'm here on my own. If that's the case, if it's such a minute life that we don't see him at all, he's hiding so well, that how come you have a life? That part we also don't understand. That there is an energy that gives chayus to the world, big energy of it, but you don't see it. It's a very great way of hiding. There's another mashal I saw in Chassidus, they bring, when you have a minister and he's in front of the king. When he's with the king, that minister, you don't see him as anything great, because he's consumed by the presence and the greatness of the king. So in front of the king, there's many ministers saying, they over there, they're like nobody. They're completely bottled. Right now, the king is, everybody feels the presence of the king. Now, when he goes away, far away, many miles from the king, he goes to his city, wherever over there is the mayor, is the governor, is whatever his job in that city he's in charge of. Now he gets his authority. Now he feels, because you have to be away from the king to feel. Now you could function. Now you're not completely nullified to him. In front of him, you were nobody. You were completely nullified to him. He was consumed by his presence. When you go away, you feel, I'm something now. Something with the Chayes Eloki. If the Chayes Eloki would be in front of Hashem, like the ministers, there will be no world the way we see it. But Hashem is here, so how? Yeah, he conceals us so well that you feel like you went away from him. You're on your own. I'm a bria of my own. If it's such a minute chayus that I mamish don't seem that I'm able to function as a yesh, if this, I don't feel the king at all. So what's giving me energy? The king. Where is? So that says that we do have an energy very mutzumsadik, very contracted, very concealed. If it's so concealed, it shouldn't be known. It still could give you a life. If it gives me a life, I should see that little life and credit him for it and be bottled it. No, but you don't see it. That's his gvuroitza. We don't understand how he's able to do that. We won't be able to do that. To give that life to be functioning and completely conceal ourselves. So that's that's Midas Shem Havai. Elokim Shem Havai, it's the one giving the life, the energy, and Shem Elokim, it's the case, the Nartik, the Shem Havai should not be revealed, but should be concealed. All right.